Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today we're going to discuss about chapter 2, inequalities. And we learned inequalities in sekolah menengah or high school. But in college, inequalities it's the same, but there are other methods to determine the range of the equation. So one of the ways are we create a number line, a real number line. Okay, remember, real number line only can be acquired with real numbers. For example, complex numbers can't be on the number line or the real number line. So today's equation we're going to discuss, which is 3, uh, 3 times 2 minus x. Wait, oh man, I need tissue. This screen. Okay, wipe it off. Okay, 3 bracket 2 minus x is bigger than 4x times x minus 2. Okay, that's the equation. That's the inequality. So how do we find the range of values for x? Now, if you see it right off the bat, we can create a quadratic equation. So by expanding the brackets, you should get 6 minus 3x is bigger than 4x squared minus 8x. Okay. Now we should arrange the values to become the quadratic equation for x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 6 is less than 0. Then we can simplify 4x squared minus minus 3x minus 6 is less than 0. Hey, wait, I did a mistake. Oops. I am so sorry. It should be plus 3x minus 6 is less than 0. Oh. Man, so it should be 4x squared minus 5x minus 6 is less than 0. So right now we can factorize the quadratic equation in which you get 4 minus 5 minus 6, and we should get x minus 2 and 4x plus 3 is less than 0. So right now we have to create a number line. But first, for every factor, we need to equal to 0. So x minus 2 is equal to 0. 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now this, we should get x is equal to 2 and x is equal to negative 3 over 4. So the number line, we can draw a line, and we can plot the values on this number line. So the positive should be on the right side and the negative should be on the left side. So on this right side it should be 2, while the left side should be negative 3 over 4. What I like to do is I draw a box here and I write down the factors. For example, x minus 2 and 4x plus 3. I will write down the factors on my left side. So right now I must find the values between these numbers. So for example, negative 3 over 4 is equivalent to negative 0.75, and on our left side should be negative 1. Okay, so for the value between negative 3 over 4 and 2 should be 0, or any kind of number as long as it's less than 2 but bigger than negative 3 over 4. But I like to use 0 because it's the most simple number can be used. And then more than 2 can be 3. So right now we can substitute each values into the factors. So for example, negative 1 goes to here, and 0 and 3. You get the idea. So negative 1 minus 2 should be negative. So all we have to do is to determine the values, whether it's a positive value or a negative value. And then we can write this down on our box here. So negative 1 minus 2 should be negative, and then 0 minus 2 should be a negative 2, so it's negative value. Then 3 minus 2 should be a positive value, so it becomes positive. Wait, I should write, I should use a different color, orange. Yep. So how about negative 1 for the second factor, which is for x plus 3, we'll get negative 4 plus 3, and it should be a negative value, so that should be color purple, negative. How about 4 times 0 plus 3, we'll get a 3, and it's a positive value, so it'll be a positive sign. And the final one should be the positive sign, obviously. So right now, before this, okay, before we find final value, we have to multiply each symbols to get the final symbol that we can find. So negative times negative should be a positive value. Negative times positive should be a negative value. And then positive times positive should be a positive value. So right now, as you can see, we have a less than 0 right here. Less than 0. So a negative value will always be less than 0. So the only part that we could um, shade, or we could find the range, is here. This is the only area that we can find the range because it's the negative value. But our right and hand side is not. It's a positive value area. So therefore, x should be between negative 3 over 4 and 2. So this is our set notation. So we have two notations, which is interval notation and set notation. So for interval notation, we could write bracket negative 3 over 4 and 2. So remember, for this kind of inequality signs, we should use this kind of brackets. If the inequality sign is equals to, therefore we should use the square brackets. Okay. Therefore, the final answer in set build notation should be the first one, and the interval notation should be on this answer here. Wait, let me get rid of this. Alright, so this is for set notation, while on the right side here should be interval notation. Okay, so that's all for now. Hope that this helped. Alright, assalamu alaikum.